Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I have a card that is inspired by one of my COVID masks. And I was sitting in the car waiting for my husband to run an errand, and I was looking down at it, and the more I looked at it, the more I thought, Stampin' Up colours. We've got Cherry Cobbler, we've got Coastal Cabana and Daffodil Delight, and we've also got things like Soft Suede or Crumb Cake. And I must have liked this colour combination at one point for having bought the mask, so I came back and I decided that I would see if I could use this colour combination, and this is what I've come up with. And I'm using one of the new stamp sets in the January to June 2022 mini catalogue, which is Sentimental Swirls. I'm always drawn to a stamp set that has actually got a swirl, a curly whirly in there. I just love that. And this stamp set has got lots of other little bits and pieces that you can build up a picture. Things like flowers, leaves, there's a little birdie, and somewhere in there there's a butterfly. And also we've got some nice greetings as well. So as I say, this is what I came up with, and I kind of liked it, but then I decided that I would maybe reorganize it slightly using the same colors but with a different combination. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to start by using Crumb Cake and the Big Swirl stamp, and just going to load that up. And I don't know if you can hear that, but in the background we've got the civil defence sirens practicing, since it's the first Saturday of the month they test them. Okay, so I'm going to pop this down, and I'm going to pop it at an angle so I get it all in without having to have a big piece of card. Now this stamp set was one that was designed by Sam Hammond, a countrywoman of mine who did this for her $1 million sales, and congratulations to her. And it is a lovely stamp set. So there's my lovely swirl, and I've loaded up some of the little add-on pieces. So I've got a leaf, and because these are photopolymer stamps, and hopefully I'm not getting my head in, you can line up the little stem onto one of your curly whirly pieces to build up your picture. There we go. This is really quite fun. And now then, let's see, let's pop one down here. Yeah, I think and maybe I'll add one. I need to make sure I leave sufficient room for the butterfly and the bird. That's why I'm being a weeny bit cautious here. So let's see if I can just pop one in there. I think I've got it. There we go. Happy with that one. Now I'm using the Crumb Cake, which was one of the ones in the mask, and the other colour I'm using is Coastal Cabana. Now when I look really closely at the mask, I was thinking that it's more like Tempting Turquoise, which was a colour that Stampin' Up had but retired a few years ago now. So I put my thinking cap on and came up with Coastal Cabana probably being the closest there. So I have my cute little bird, and I'm going to pop him just perched happily on that little swirl there. And then I've got my little butterfly and I'm going to have him flying around in various places to just fill in my space. Let's put a piece of paper underneath that corner so I don't get ink on my work bench. There we go. Oh, it flew off then, didn't it? Okay, so I have that stamping done there. Now I took a piece of crumb cake and I've already stamped it with the thank you stamp from the same set. And then after I stamped it, I ran it through my cut and emboss machine with the painted texture embossing folder. And you can see it's kind of looks like a bit of plaster work that hasn't really been smoothed over, but I like that very much. So this time, instead of having the Cherry Cobbler card base and the Coastal Cabana layer here, I've flipped it round and done it the other way. So I'm just going to use some of my liquid adhesive to attach that to the base. Like that. And the same for my stamped piece. And then we're going to have some stamping dimensionals on the back. So 1, 2, 3, 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. And when you pop them down, if you just pop your nail in the middle, you'll find that the edges pop up and you'll be able to pull them off a lot quicker. So I'm going to pop that up toward the top left, so I've got room for my greeting there. And a little bit of bling. So we're going to go with rhinestones, and I'm just going to pop them on the end of some of the curly cues. Just a few, just to give it some sparkle. There we go. So the final colour that I wanted to try and bring in was the Daffodil Delight. So I decided just a little bit of that with a ribbon, and I did use the Daffodil Delight here on, it's called, let's see if I find it, the ruched ribbon. And then I did think that maybe the bumblebee might look just as nice. So I'm going to use the bumblebee on this one. So this is the bumblebee gingham ribbon. And I've just tied a little bow. Now, I do have a video on how I tie my bows. And if you look below this video, you will see a link to my blog. And that will give you the dimensions for this card, but it'll also give you a link to my video on tying bows. So I'm just going to use a glue dot on this and pop it up there on one of the curly cues. And the only thing I haven't done, which I did on my original card, was to stamp my inside piece. So I'm going to do that with butterflies this time. And I'm just going to sort of alternate them to slightly to the right, slightly to the left, up the side there, just to give it some interest. And then attach with my liquid adhesive. You can use Stampin' Seal if you wish, but if you watch my videos, you know I prefer to use the liquid adhesive because it does give me an opportunity to lay it down and then just sort of smoosh it, ease it around slightly to make sure it's centered. And there we go. Colours inspired by one of my face masks. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you look around to see if there are other opportunities for you to be inspired for your colours. Thank you for spending time with me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye for now.